The discourses of Epictetus. I hope you enjoy. Okay, this is the wisdom of Epictetus, read by candidate Congressman John Kitover. Okay, this is Philosophy and Wisdom of Epictetus, read by candidate John. Hope you enjoy. Okay, this is Philosophy and Wisdom of Epictetus by candidate John. Hope you enjoy this morning's book club. Sire, welcome. We're about to read from what's called a book. Okay, this is Wisdom, Philosophy, Meditation of Epictetus. Read by Candidate John. Hope you enjoy. We've got not one viewer, as far as I can tell. We've achieved a state of parity. Equilibrium now. 6 minute setup. We're going to try to go to a different room, see if we can read something.
Praying or reading or something that will keep your mind engaged but allow you to not smoke. Like you just make that switch and then you can just fast for like a day or 2 days, just like fruit and water or milk and water or milk and fruits. The fasting really helps. It really burns, like you'll see that your stomach will start not be on fire, but you'll feel that fire in your stomach, and that'll help you.
Demons occupied. Something, it don't matter.
Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a...
Because part of your smoking
Write this discharge petition. We only need 2 of them. Work for their own closure. And he's sensitive.
That's true.
Serendipity, can I ask you a question? I know it may be off topic what we're talking about.
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a non-stimulant called Intuniv, or guanfacine, it's also known as?
I have not.
Okay, it's, with kids with ADHD, there's stimulants, the Adderall and the, now what's the other one? The Adderall and the Ritalin family, right?
Right.
And then you have the non-stimulant class, which is like the Strattera and the other things, Intuniv, guanfacine, which the way those things work apparently is you have to take that every day. You can't miss a day, whereas with the stimulant apparently you can miss a day or whatever. But and it builds up in your system, and then eventually it works towards you. I just want to see what your thoughts are. They're not the same as the stimulants, but apparently they have the same desired effect. I don't know if you can look them up, but like ADHD non-stimulants, you'll see like Intuniv is one, Strattera. I'm just curious your thoughts, because you have a pretty good perspective. You got me to get her off the main stimulant, the Ritalin family. But
Yeah, well, I will. I'll actually look into them, Naveen, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
How are you noticing it working for her?
Well, I mean, so Intuniv is more something for impulse.
Right.
And so, she used to have this thing where she would constantly put her shirt in her mouth, and she's 12, it's like, you kind of, like it looks out of place now, when you do that kind of thing. When she's younger, it's like you can get away with it, the kids and all that, and so, but I see her doing it a little less. I see her being a little bit more conscious when she's doing it and able to control the impulse to like tap her feet or tap her fingers, or she used to have to bring something with her to squeeze in her hands to let her focus. Now she's not necessarily getting better at focus. When she was on Ritalin, she used to be able to focus in the class, and then we'd give her Ritalin and this non-stimulant, but I see the impulse got a lot better. We're still focusing, still trying to get her focus back to where it was when she was on, the Ritalin
Right.
But, I took her off it because of the side effects of it. So, but the impulse is being controlled, and then they're saying, well, there's another non-stimulant that you could give if you want to go that route, and that controls focus back to where it was when she was on focus. Then why the hell are you giving me a stimulant? If the non-stimulant, it's really bizarre. So I'm just like, okay, now I'm like, this is shady. Like, what did I do? Did I do the right thing? So it's kind of, kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I think mostly you have to communicate with her. You have to see how she's feeling about it, how it makes her feel, or are there any negative drawbacks to what she's doing, even if she's not getting the optimal focus results yet. she's still really young, and to some extent, like, I feel like those behaviors can be improved with maturity and
People who are vaccinated, they can feel
some
safe that they are not going to get infected.
Still
I got
better.
infected about 2 weeks ago.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that somebody can't sit and focus on something for even an hour. I know my brain doesn't work that way. Like, I have to work.
But serendipity, I think the issue is, and I think a lot of it.
Wait, King, I hate to interrupt. Do you guys know what conversational hypnosis is?
So what I would say is that I think part of the problem is more about me and my psychology and what I went through when I was a kid. That I'm more worried she's gonna go through. I mean, I do see her doing it where kids are saying to her like, "Oh, you're weird. Like you won't shut up," or and they'll say those things. I just say, "Okay, avoid those kids. Find the kid that you like."
Right.
But there is a kid that she likes, and she sits and talks to, and she's like, "You just said the same thing 3 times," and she's like, "Oh, okay." But at least the girl's nice enough to her. Go, no, sit next to me. I want to sit next to you. But
Back to where it was when she was on.
kind of guiding her, like, hey, don't be yourself. Like, it doesn't look good. And so those,
take off and
that kind of awareness helps. But, part of it is
here.
more concerned because she's going to go through what I. And I do see a lot of girls do treat her like, they're already in the next phase, and every doctor, like psychologist I'm speaking to, she gets dealing with therapy. They're like, look, maturity is like 1 or 2 years behind. Like, it'll be tough as she gets older because girls can be, moody and bratty, and they can do all this stuff. So it will be difficult. And you'll have to give her support so she doesn't get depressed. And I think part of it is me getting more frustrated at what I want her to be versus what she is. Because I end up like, sometimes I'll even mock her and I'm like, why did I say that? I'll be like, why are you acting like a third?
You'll mock your daughter? You mock her?
And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, why did I just say that? But I get so frustrated because I'm like, you're doing something so simple and you can't do it. And I'm just like, oh man, what am I doing? So some of it is me too.
Let me tell you too, like, you have to kind of tackle some of those issues one at a time. I was going through, me and my daughter, we communicate really well together. Like, there's really not like a whole lot that we can't talk about and discuss. We started butting heads relentlessly because she cannot be on time. To save her life, she cannot be on time. You can tell the girl 3 days ahead of time, we're going to go do this at X time. Like, what do you need to do to get there? Like, it's very important.
The joke's on you. Oh, just let it go.
Mother, she was in such disbelief. She couldn't believe it. And the way the man just held the 6-year-old daughter in his hands. If that doesn't break your heart to want.
Okay, we're going into the book club. Okay, this is Epictetus' Wisdom of Philosophy. Welcome, Paola. We're about to read what's called a book. we have done the scanning of what's available on Clubhouse, and we have found that it's the same thing. Damn, so in Great Britain, if you don't have a digital ID, you can't work there. They're gonna starve out their illegal immigrants. Okay, this is book club. 16-minute setup to get here. We're ready to begin. Okay, without further ado, I give you Epictetus. This is just going to be 60-second snippets. And we're going to be creating clips on YouTube. These are the golden sayings. Are these the only works of providence in us? What words suffice to praise or set them forth? Had we but understanding, should we ever cease hymning, blessing the divine power, both openly and in secret, telling of his gracious gifts, whether digging or plowing or eating, should we not sing the hymn to God? Great is God, for that he hath given us such instruments to till the ground withal. Great is God, for that he hath given us hands and the power of swallowing and digesting, of unconsciously growing and breathing while we sleep. Thus should we ever have sung, yea, in this the grandest and divinest hymn of all. Great is God, for that he hath given us a mind to apprehend these things and duly to use them. What then? Seeing that most of you are blinded, should there not be someone to fill this place and sing the hymn to God on behalf of all men? What else can I, that am old and lame, do but sing to God? Were I a nightingale, I should do after the manner of a nightingale. Were I a swan, I should do after the manner of a swan. But now, since I am a reasonable being, I must sing to God. That is my work, I do it. Nor will I desert this my post, as long as it is granted me to hold it, and upon you too I call to join in this self-same hymn. Okay, that's part one of Epictetus. This is your morning intelligence meditation on knowledge, philosophy, and wisdom with Candidate John, reading to you from what's called a book. People don't know what books are anymore. They just do conversational hypnosis with each other. They just talk all the time about nothing. No real intelligence. Here we go. Part two. How then do men act as though one, returning to his country, who had sojourned for the night in a fair inn, should be so captivated thereby as to take up his abode there? Friend, thou hast forgotten thine intention. This was not thy destination, but only lay on the way thither. Nay, but it is a proper place. And how many more of the sort there be only to pass through upon thy way? Thy purpose was to return to thy country. to relieve thy kinsmen's fears for thee, thyself to discharge the duties of a citizen, to marry a wife, to beget offspring, and to fill the appointed round of office. Thou didst not come to choose out what places are most pleasant, but rather to return to that wherein thou wast born, and where thou wert appointed to be a citizen. Try to enjoy the great festival of life with other men. But I have one whom I must please, to whom I must be subject, whom I must obey, God, those who come next to him. He hath entrusted me with myself. He hath made my will subject to myself alone, and given me rules for the right use thereof. Rufus used to say, if you have leisure to praise me, what I say is not. In truth he spoke in such wise that each of us who sat there thought that someone had accused him to Rufus. So surely did he lay his finger on the very deeds we did, so surely display the faults of each before his very eyes. But what saith God? Had it been possible, Epictetus, I would have made both thy body of thine and thy possessions free and unimpeded. But as it has been out deceived, it is not thine own, it is but finely tempered clay. Since then this I could not do, I have given thee a portion of myself, in the power of desiring and declining, and of pursuing and avoiding, and in a word the power of dealing with the things of sense. And if thou neglect not this, but place all that thou hast therein, thou shalt never be let or hindered. Thou shalt never lament. Thou shalt not blame or flatter any. What then? Seemeth this to thee a little thing? God forbid. Be content then therewith. And so I pray the gods. That is part 2 of Epictetus. Okay, here's part 3. What saith Antisthenes? Hast thou never heard? It is a kingly thing, O Cyrus, to do well, and to be evil spoken of. Aye, but to debase myself thus were unworthy of me. That, said Epictetus, is for you to consider, not for me. You know yourself what you are worth in your own eyes, and at what price you will sell yourself. For men sell themselves at various prices. This was why, when Florus was deliberating whether he should appear at Nero's shows, taking part in the performance himself, Agrippinus replied, appear by all means. And when Florus inquired, but why do not you appear? He answered, because I do not even consider the question. For the man who has once stooped to consider such questions and to reckon up the value of external things is not far from forgetting what manner of man he is. Why? What is it that you ask of me? Is death preferable of life or life? I reply, life. Pain or pleasure? I reply, pleasure. Well, but if I do not act, I shall lose my head. Then go and act. But for my part, I will not act. Why? Because you think yourself but one among the many threads which make up the texture of the doublet. You should aim at being like men in general, just as your thread has no ambition either to be anything distinguished compared with the other threads. But I desire to be the purple, that small and shining part which makes the rest seem fair and beautiful. Why then do you bid me become even as the multitude? Then were I no longer the purple. If a man could be thoroughly penetrated as he ought, with this thought that we are all in a special manner sprung from God, and that God is the Father of all men as well as of gods, full surely he would never conceive aught ignoble or base of himself. Okay, this is part 3 of Epictetus, founder of the Stoic School of Philosophy. Hope you're enjoying this morning meditation with candidate John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com.